As men, we have the power to change society. Society's problems are a direct reflection of weak men. Masculine women are a direct reflection of feminine men. Children are a direct reflection of their parents. Weak men create hard times, but that also means hard times create strong men. As a man, you have to accept that feminism and society is against you from day one. Instead of hoping to get easier, become stronger and face those challenges. Eventually, you will inspire others around you to become better versions of themselves as well. Maybe you grew up without a father, or your father was weak. Your mom was always yelling at your dad, and he was a little bit, more submissive. And that caused your mom to be more masculine, your mom to be more angry. Because when women are masculine and women are in their masculine, they become more angry, upset, and they don't like it. They don't like being in their masculine, but they have to. The women would have to take on that role. There's always a balance of masculine and feminine energy. If women were to not have men around them, they would have to take on that masculine role to survive, hunting, fighting, and that's just a survival mechanism to keep them alive. It's not natural for them. It's the only way of survival. Now today, since society is so easy, right? Guys could just stay at home, watch porn, play video games, and they're not getting attacked by saber-toothed tigers. Women can be individuals and work, act like men, and go to college and do their own thing, and they're not getting attacked by saber-toothed tigers either, right? But if we were attacked by saber-toothed tigers and fucking animals trying to attack us all the time, all the roles would go exactly back into place. The women would start acting like women, and they start looking to the men for protection, and then the men would have to stand up, and the men who didn't stand up would die. They'd just completely get rid of all the men who couldn't stand up for themselves, and the women would only go towards those top men, and they still do. Or 90% of the dudes who are average, considered simpy, they're not a top 3%er, right? These guys are overlooked. They're completely invisible to women. Average men are invisible to women. Only guys that women are attracted to, and all women are attracted to, are the top 3% of men. In high school, it was the freaking quarterbacks. It was all the dudes who were on varsity. You see all these girls attracted to these guys. All these girls sitting in the bleachers for these dudes. They weren't watching the nerds in the library reading a book. They weren't all gathered around watching all the nerds play video games or their fucking Nintendo Switches. If we go back into caveman days, and I promise you, if we did, and we probably will eventually once everything fucking destroys itself, and it talks about this in Hard Times Create Strong Men, I started to think that, okay, maybe we could kind of reverse. We could kind of go back in time from self-destruction. But as we're looking at it right now, it's leading towards self-destruction. And it is what it is, right? You can't control it. It's going to do its own thing. But the only way to be prepared for it is to make yourself stronger. If it's going to happen, it's definitely time of when it's going to happen. This is what society wants. They want to make men least desirable to women. They want to make women least desirable. How do you do that? Well, you turn the men weak by feeding them a bunch of Hollywood movies and non-individual thinkers. Like, I was totally aware. And I was always aware of these things. I was always aware of school, and I always hated school for that exact reason. Feminism bullshit is built into the school system. It's built into the teachers that teach this shit. I knew it was a programming that they were trying to get me to believe, and I thought I was the only one. I remember in science class, I spoke about this in another podcast. I was in science class in high school, and these girls walked into the class and started talking about how men and women are equal and we need to be treated as equal. I rose my hand and I was like, if we're equal, why is it that men are physically stronger than women? And they got mad. They got upset, and they were like, women can do everything a man could do. And then I looked at the whole class, and they're like, I don't know. Like, okay, I was kind of agreeing when these girls were talking about being equal. Like, yeah, okay, that sounds nice. And then they're calling me crazy for men being stronger than women. The guys are like, yeah, this is not true. Maybe some feminist girls are like, yeah, I don't know about that. I inspired another friend of mine around me to raise his hand and ask a question as well. And this was in high school. And I remember getting pulled out of the class by my teacher. And she was saying I was being disrespectful. She pulled out me and my buddy from the class saying that we were being disrespectful towards women. And I said, no, fuck no. Take me to principal's office. Principal's office said the same shit. And so I was like, all right, cool. I texted my dad. I'm like, yo, like, I'm in the principal's office. I'll tell you why, but expect a phone call. He's like, okay, son. Right? And, I went home late that day, and my dad was like, good job for standing up for what you believe in. Just that reassurance from my own dad, like, really was important. I think a lot of guys don't really have that reassurance from, like, their father, right? So a lot of guys growing up, they might try to test the waters of standing up for what they believe in, but then they don't have a masculine father figure or masculine figure to back them up. For me, I had a friend, and I had my own father with me, so I knew, okay, I could actually fight for my beliefs. Not only because I was younger, but if I'm going against 30 people, I want to be able to know I have people behind my back who believe in the same thing. And if there isn't, I'm still going to try my best to prove my argument, right? Guys, as men, we have the power to stand up for what we believe in and fight for it. If we were in a tribe of men and we didn't like what their belief system was, we could either fight for our beliefs, and we might die if we're fighting against the whole tribe, but we might get other men in that tribe who agree with us, and we fight against the other part of the tribe. And then whatever tribe is the strongest, or whatever group is the strongest, that belief system carries on, right? Or that member of the tribe, that man from the tribe, leaves to go start his own tribe. He takes the people with him to start his own tribe. And that's the basic important value of being a man, is that you have the power to stand up for what you believe in.